All right, Fight for 15 crowd, this one's for you. Check out Hillary Clinton stumping for minimum wage in the Democratic debate last night.
I have said from the very beginning that I supported the fight for 15. I supported those on the front lines of the fight for... It happens to be true. I supported the 15 effort in L.A. I supported it in Seattle. I supported it for the fast food workers in New York.
Not sure that's something to be proud of, Secretary Clinton. In Seattle, the unemployment rate is higher since the minimum wage hike took effect. More people are out of work than before because employers can't pay them. How does that help with the so-called living wage? And you want to raise this problem in all 50 states now, Mrs. Clinton? Take a look.
We want to raise it higher than it ever has been. But of course, if we have a Democratic Congress, we will go to 15.
And Hillary Clinton wonders why people say she shouts, right?
Ultimately, what we have got to determine is, after massive transfer of wealth from the middle class to the top 0.1%, when millions of our people are working longer hours for low wages, Senator. I think we have got to be clear, not equivocate. $15 and minimum wage in 50 states in this country as soon as possible.
Senator Sanders, you claim to have a problem with this so-called massive transfer of wealth from the middle class to the top 1%. But you don't have a problem with the redistribution of wealth from the middle class to the government elite? That doesn't make a lot of sense, sir. Because a $15 an hour minimum wage won't do what you say it will do. Here are the issues. Liberals claim it's the moral thing to do, a social obligation, if you will, to raise minimum wage to $15 an hour to provide what they call a living wage to low-income workers. But what if raising the minimum wage doesn't end with more money in the pocket of low-income workers? What if it actually hurts them? In 57% of poor families, nobody has a job. A higher minimum wage still hurts you, though, because it makes it harder for you to break that cycle of poverty, harder to get back on your feet, harder to find a job. And that's not all. Analysis by the Federal Reserve looked at what would happen if we raised the minimum wage to just $10 an hour, not even all the way to $15 like Bernie and Hillary want. And if we raised the minimum wage to $10 an hour, only 18% of increase in incomes would go to families living in poverty. Does that sound like a very smart plan if the goal is to help people in poverty? 32% of the increases in income, though, if we raise the minimum wage, would go to families living in the top half of the income distribution, because a hefty chunk of people making minimum wage are secondary earners in high-income families. Moms who have part-time jobs, teenagers working summer jobs. Liberals say big companies, high-income individuals, they can afford the wage hikes. It won't hurt them. Well, what about small businesses? Over 50% of the working population in our country work for small businesses. If you raise the minimum wage, small businesses won't be able to afford to pay their employees. They have to make ends meet. That's why they're businesses. They have to cut costs to do it. And those costs are the new wages. So people get laid off or fewer jobs are available. Small businesses pass on this cost to consumers, too. They raise the prices of their products. And guess who that hurts? It hurts low-income people the most, again. Minimum wage hikes backfire. That's what the facts show us. So why are Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton still fighting for it? That's my final point. Reach me on Twitter anytime at Liz_Wheeler. And if you liked the show, please send me an email at oann.com/contact. Be sure to catch Tipping Point again tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern. And have a good night.